Hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Okay, well, thank you for allowing me to interview you. I am Hope Stafford with the Hope Helps group at Realty One Group Premier, and I am here with Rob Ladd of Landmark Home Inspections, and we're just going to ask a little bit of questions about what's going on in the inspection part of the real estate world. So, how are things going right now? Are you doing inspections? Are you busy?
We are doing inspections. It's kind of an interesting time to be doing it, wearing gloves and covering our face and all that good stuff. We had a bit of a dip the week that Denver initiated their stay-at-home order, and then things kind of ramped back up for us. Strong last week, strong so far this week. I don't know that we're going to have a real good feel for how this is going to affect us for a couple more weeks or maybe a month. I think that a lot of our clients so far, in my discussions with them, have been working, with the agents for before all of this, kind of started happening. And so I guess I wonder what will happen over the course of the next month. Will
Right.
people be putting their houses on the market? Will people be, reaching out to agents like you to look for a place to live while all this is going on? What have you been seeing?
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty slow. I have the clients that I've been working with going on, and continuing to help them through the process. But other than that, not too much by way of new clients. Again, we'll see what happens. I'm not doing any in-person showings or, you know, obviously we can't do open houses or anything like that. So it's a little bit of a weird time and a time to learn for all of us. So what are some questions that you think a buyer should ask when they're getting the inspection done right now? And also, actually, are you having buyers in the inspections with you, or even agents for that matter?
Um, yeah, I'll attack that. I'm going to attack it in kind of reverse order. For the most part, agents have not been coming to the inspections for the last couple of weeks or even really last few weeks, and clients have either not been coming at all, or we have been encouraging them to only come to the end of the inspection for like the summary. Traditionally, what we do at the end of our inspections, our company, is we get a laptop computer out and we go over the photos that are going to be in the report before we leave the property, so we can kind of field any additional questions that our client might have. That has become difficult to do because of social distancing. So we
Right.
are either encouraging clients to not be there for a majority of the inspection, only come at the end, or if they don't come at all, which is ideal, we send them the report, and then we basically call them on the phone, and they can actually go over, they can see what we're seeing, and we go over the report, page by page, to kind of discuss, what was going on in the house, and field any questions they might have. We, of course, are also encouraging homeowners to not be present, which is difficult right now because there's not that many places for somebody to go while we're in their house for a couple hours. But the goal is to limit, as much exposure, to one another as possible, to not only protect ourselves, but to protect our client, and of course protect the homeowner, who
Right.
after the inspection has to go back to their house and live in it
Right.
for.
Right. Well, that's awesome that you're taking those extra precautions. What's the most common problem that you see in homes in the metro area?
I mean, on a an inspection by inspection basis, it's usually just the typical stuff: minor plumbing, minor electrical. We run into a lot of roof stuff because of the amount of hail damage that we get in the Denver area, UV
Yeah.
damage. The sun kind of does a number on the exterior of the home. In terms of like major stuff, I would say the most common issues we run into are HVAC, furnace and air conditioner. Most people, I think, don't realize that you are supposed to service your air conditioner and your furnace every year. Typically, you do the air conditioner in like the spring or summertime, and you're going to do the furnace in the fall or before it gets cold. And if you have a swamp cooler, you're actually supposed to service that twice a year. You're going to do it kind of a dewinterization in the spring and then a winterization in the fall.
Okay.
Most people don't do that. And you think of that like an oil change in your car. It's performative maintenance. You're not fixing something that's wrong with it. You're just kind of keeping up on it so that it operates better. Now think of your car, like if you get a brand new car and then you don't get an oil change for like 2 or 3 years, your brand
Uh-oh.
new car will break. And we see that a lot with homes that are like 6, 7, 8 years old, where somebody purchased it, in many cases a first-time home buyer, and they've never serviced it. And so we get in and it's like, you have an 8-year-old air conditioner that probably should have lasted you 20 years and it's shot. And so I would highly encourage anyone, new homeowners, veteran homeowners, regardless of the age of the home or the age of your HVAC, service it every year. And if you do that, I mean, they last a long time. My parents replaced their air conditioner, their furnace, and their water heater 2 summers ago, and all 3 units were 27 years old.
Wow.
That being said, my mom is a real estate agent and my dad owns a home inspection company. So they were meticulously trained. But if you do that, and they last a long time, if you ignore them, new units will break pretty quick.
Okay. And then, well, I should probably get our air conditioner service coming up here soon. So my last question for you, and this sets you apart from any of the other inspectors that I've had my buyers or my buyers have used, is that you use thermal imaging. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. Thermal imaging camera is, did you ever see that movie Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger? They
Yes.
made like 10 of them. Thermal imaging is like giving you predator vision. It's
Like
a camera
glasses.
yeah, right, kind of. And so what we use, it looks kind of like, I've got it around here. It's just like this little guy right here. It's just a tiny little camera, and I'll turn it on. But it allows you to see the world in terms of temperature. And so what we will do is we will shoot like an electric panel with it. And it allows us to see electric panels that are overheating. The breakers at an electric panel are plastic, so they don't always heat up very much. So in many cases where we're finding that heat is at like the wires, which of course you're not going to touch because you could get electrocuted, or the heat is where the breaker attaches to what is called a bus bar. It's the piece of metal behind the breaker, which is also something that you're not going to touch and you can't see. We'll also find like moisture, coming from a wall or a ceiling where there's no moisture staining. So maybe it's a very small leak. Now I want to be clear, this doesn't see moisture, but it sees temperature. And so if we see something cold, we will get out a different tool, an electronic moisture meter, and then we'll poke the cold spot. And in many cases, we'll say, hey, yeah, you have a cold spot here. I had one a couple months ago, or actually, I guess about 3 weeks ago, where cold spot in the ceiling, about the size of a tennis ball. And so we plugged it, said, okay, there's water here. And you just do, coordinates. Okay, we're 10 feet in from this wall, 8 feet in from this wall. You walk upstairs and say it's the master bathroom toilet. Something underneath the toilet is leaking. So this is kind of, let's see if this works. This is kind of what I look like, if you can see that.
Yeah.
It's a really cool tool that allows us to see stuff that the naked eye can't see and stuff that we absolutely, would miss if we weren't doing it. So we not only shoot, the electric panel, we shoot every inch of the home with a thermal imaging camera. So you asked, like, what are good questions to ask? And I kind of skipped that answer. Good questions to ask are like, are you certified? Like, are you an actual inspector? What kind of experience do you have? And then maybe the most important question they could ask is, do you shoot the house with a thermal imaging camera? Because if the answer is no, they're going to miss stuff. We just can't see everything that's going on in the home. So that's even an important question for an agent, because in many cases, agents are referring out, inspectors to their clients. So do you use a thermal imaging camera? And if the answer is no, either like tell them to go buy one today or find a different inspector. A lot of inspectors charge extra, like anywhere between about $100 and $125 for thermal imaging. It's worth every penny. So if you're an agent and your inspector's already doing it, but he charges extra, pay it. It's worth it. We don't charge extra. It's kind of part of our flat fee. We figure like if we don't shoot it, stuff's getting missed, and we're doing a disservice to our clients.
Well, I mean, I definitely hadn't heard of it even before I had met you guys, and my clients have found it quite useful to find electrical problems in their house. So thank you so much for doing this interview. It was good to see your face. And why don't you go ahead and how can people get in touch with you if they would like to use you for their inspection?
Yeah, I mean, you can Google us, Landmark Home Inspections. You can go to our website. It's lhi-den.com. Again, that's LHI-DEN.com. That's short for Landmark Home Inspections-Denver.com. And you can, call or text 720-827-1489. That's my cell phone. I've always got it with me. Those are good ways to contact us.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. This was very informative, and I hope helps people know all about what's going on with inspections and what to find out during an inspection.
Thanks, Hope. Stay safe.
All right, you too. Thank you.